Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Friday, June 20th, 2025. So, on this summer solstice,
Yep.
did you do the crossword?
Yes, I did.
And was it the longest crossword of the year?
No.
Oh, okay. Good. Was it the shortest?
No.
Just sort of that Goldilocks in-between crossword then.
I think so, yes.
As far as Fridays are concerned, would you rate it on the harder side for the Fridays?
No.
Oh, really?
I thought it was going to be hard just by looking at it.
Yes.
But when you look at it really carefully, you got three clues going the length of the puzzle at the very top.
Right.
And then you got three clues at the bottom going the length of the puzzle.
Yes.
But then in between, you've got, more typical size answers, 4 or 5 letters, that I didn't think were very difficult. And so I kind of breezed through that middle part where you see all the black squares. And then that gave me enough of the letters, because some of them drift down or drift up into those really long answers. And I was able to answer those fairly quickly. So not nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Well, I found the top 2/3 to be pretty straightforward. I definitely had to break a sweat in lots of places. But boy, I had a lot of trouble in the bottom.
Oh.
I just couldn't. And again, the longer I work, the more tired I get, and so I think I'm sort of running out of energy at that point. But it took me a long time to be able to see what was going on because there were quite a few downs that I simply didn't know. Like, for example, 35 down moves slightly closer as a baseball fielder. Cheats in.
Cheats in.
Did you know cheats in?
No.
Oh, okay. How about 43 down? Coffee Roasters Creation Blend.
Yes, I did know that.
I eventually got that, but I started off with, I had the B from 43 across, leaning was bias. Right. And so I thought it was going to be like brew something. Or I had brews, but then I thought, well, it says creation, it's singular, so. And 46 across, I just racked my brain. Part of many a car's dashboard. So I'm trying to do everything I can apart from actually going into my car and looking. In fact, if I had gone into my car and looked, it wouldn't have helped because the answer was CD slot.
CD slot, yes.
Yeah, I have no CD slot.
No, me either.
I thought radio, I thought speedometer, I thought odometer.
Yeah.
I had GPS because the third letter was in fact S.
Yeah,
And because 46 down was munch, and I was going back and forth between gnaw, which would have worked to give me the G of GPS, and then chew, which turned out that didn't work either. It was chow was the correct answer to munch. And I didn't know the one next to it. Actor Paul of 12 Years a Slave, Dano.
Paul Dano, yeah.
You say that like you knew Paul Dano.
Well, I did not know he was in that movie, but, it was 4 letters and began with a D, and I thought, it's Paul Dano.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That would help. How about the one next to it, 48 down, mix up, stir?
Yeah, I got that right away.
Really? See, I thought it was going to be something like a fray or a spat or a tiff. I was thinking of the wrong kind of mix-up.
Yes,
they just meant mix up.
Right.
It's very sneaky of them to be so literal there. 53 down, clock standard, a bruh. So I thought, okay, it's got to be like CST or CDT or MST. I was trying all of those.
No, the standard is GMT.
GMT.
Meantime.
Yes, I was sort of like, oh, I see. So as you can tell, I was just struggling in that area. 44 down. Well, actually, 44 down I was able to get. Writer with a monument in Florence's Piazza Sante Croce, and that was Dante.
Right. I remember that. I remember we went to the big cathedral there in Florence, and there was a picture of him in the Inside, yes.
Because apparently he was banished from Florence and threatened with beheading if he ever came back.
Really?
So I find it ironic that they have a statue of him.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe it's a statue of him without his head.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
There's also a painting.
Let's see. We had to decide 55 down, old what's blank name. It was either going to be his name or her name.
Right.
I went for his.
Me too.
And then eventually backtracked to her.
Mm-hmm.
45 down was brilliant. Request by those under 21. It's just like, what do you need? A ride? You need permission?
Yes.
It was hit me.
Hit me, yeah. That threw me too. I was thinking, what do people under 21 have?
Yeah.
Soda?
Yeah. That was a very, very good clue.
Yeah, that was great. I also liked 27 down. This is the greatest part. Lion's share.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I started thinking there's some song or some, I guess it's movie, The Greatest Show.
The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman. Mm-hmm. And I started singing one of the songs out of that and found it hard to concentrate. Just like, get out of my head, song. I'm trying to solve a crossword. Let's see. We had 16 across. Cultural attraction in London's Covent Garden neighborhood. So I just started thinking of all the British things I could think of. BBC House didn't fit because this was a full 15 letters.
Right.
I thought the London Eye, even though I knew that wouldn't fit.
No, that's not in the Covent Garden.
Then I thought about Shakespeare's Thea.
No.
Because I didn't have room for theater, so I had Shakespeare Theatre.
No.
But it was Royal Opera House.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Have we been to the Royal Opera House?
I didn't think so.
Okay. Because I generally try and avoid opera.
Yeah, we've been to the one in Paris, the Royal Opera House in Paris.
Oh, okay. Let's see. 3 down was cute. Mate's reply. Aye, Captain.
Yes.
I mean, that was actually obvious in retrospect once you realize which kind of mate they're talking about.
I put aye, Captain. Like...
Captain?
Yeah.
C-A-P-N? What'd you do with the rest of the squares? Leave them blank?
No.
Oh, you said aye. Got it.
Aye, Captain.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, but it was
just aye, Captain.
So
the one next to it, natural pitch was tar.
Right. Of
course, tar is another name for a sailor.
Oh, that's true.
So I thought that was sort of curious juxtaposition there. And I always forget, 5 down, Olympian Raisman was Allie.
Allie, yes.
Allie Raisman. So the top part, again, for me, wasn't nearly as difficult as the bottom. The bottom just... I know. I just kept, as you can tell, swinging and missing. Little annoyance. It turned out, I thought it was going to be like gnat or something like that, but It was pest.
Pest. Yes.
Even 50 across. Trendy. I thought, ooh, it's hot. Because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have hit me.
Oh.
And then I thought, well, maybe it's HEP. H-E-P.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think we were just warned was out of date.
Out of date.
So I put that there somewhat hesitatingly, but it was hip.
Hip. That's right.
I was eventually hip to hip. The one gimme for me, 42 down, big name in bookstores, Barnes.
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful that Barnes and Noble have different length names.
Yes, that helps, doesn't it?
Yes.
I like that, 37 across. Retro means of communication. That could be a lot of things.
Right.
Flip phone.
Yeah, I started with telegraph. Because I thought, well, it fits. I mean, I don't think flip phone is that retro. But the person who wrote this crossword, Adrienne Bake, this is her first crossword. She looks like she's about 12.
Oh.
So maybe for her that was retro. I don't know.
Could be.
So yes, this was a very, very good crossword.
Yeah,
lots
it was a fun solve.
Lots of great clues.
I enjoyed solving it.
A couple of others, 17 across. Campaign reminder. I thought I had it starting with E, and in fact the third letter was an E, so I thought it was going to be something to do with the word election.
Oh.
But it was every vote counts.
That's right. Yes.
Which is sort of cute.
I wanted it to be don't forget to vote or be sure to vote but it's every vote counts, and that is true.
One across, looks like it's settled. That answers that.
Yep.
There's no way I would have come up with that.
No, but it makes sense.
Right. And then a few at the bottom. Everybody's talking about it. And I had enough letters there that I thought the word news was going to be part of this, but it was word on the street.
That's right.
Did you get that right away?
No.
I wonder if anyone did. I wonder if anyone looked at that and said, oh, it's got to be word on the street. Very, very close was on intimate terms.
Right.
I was thinking of the wrong kind of close. And then nonchalant comeback. I thought that could be anything at all.
Yes.
But it was haters gonna hate.
Right. Right.
So, yeah,
Very good.
great crossword. Again, by Adrienne Bake. Nice job. It is a debut for her. She
Wonderful.
starts on a
She did great
Friday.
job.
She starts with a themeless. Amazing.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's it for the crossword, but it is Friday,
Yes, it is.
which means it's time for Fun Fact Friday.
Do, 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 do.
And I'm hoping you have a fun fact for Fun Fact Friday.
I have a few fun facts here.
Ooh, multiple fun facts.
Yes.
Okay.
Earlier in the week, we had an entire puzzle devoted to one of my favorite candies, Reese's Pieces.
Uh-huh.
So I have a few fun facts about Reese's Pieces.
A few pieces. Okay.
They were made by the Hershey Company. They still are. They were first produced in 1978, so they are 46 years old.
Happy birthday.
Yep. There are variations of Reese's Pieces. We have just the standard Reese's Pieces. We have Reese's Pieces Peanut, which is the original Reese's Peanuts with the inclusion of peanuts. And then we have Reese's Mini Pieces baking chips that you can use to make cookies and other confections.
I see.
And then we also have the Reese's Baking Cups and Reese's Pieces Candy, which is a mixture of Reese's Pieces and little tiny Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
I wonder if we should warn our listeners not to listen to this just before supper.
So one of the problems they had was when they first tried to just put peanut butter in the Reese's Pieces, but the oil would leak out and they'd get all icky. And so they discovered that they created this new peanut flavored panache filling, which does not
Panache?
panache, yes.
Oh, that's a
And
new one.
the colors are orange, brown, and yellow because those are the colors on the Reese's Pieces packaging. 50% of them are orange, 25% are brown, and 25% are yellow.
Wait, you're saying that the color of the actual Reese's Pieces
Yes.
is just based on what the cover is?
Yes,
Well, couldn't they just make whatever color they want and then print the cover?
they could have changed, but no, they didn't.
Okay.
Okay, so then this is a story that probably a lot of people know about, but in 1982, the Mars Candy Company rejected a product placement offer for the inclusion of its key product, which is M&Ms, in the Steven Spielberg film E.T., the
Right.
extraterrestrial. Hershey accepted an offer for the use of Reese's Pieces in the movie, and with the film's blockbuster success, its product sales dramatically increased as much as 300%. So good old Reese's Pieces were probably not doing too well until E.T. phoned home, and then
So wait, do they have to, how does that work? Do they pay E.T., or I presume, or do they go to them and say, hey, we'll put your food in our movie if you pay us? I guess that's how it works.
or maybe they just asked to put it in. Just can we use your product?
Do they have to ask? Couldn't they just if they're having
No, because then they'd be sued for, especially like if the film was rotten.
They could just say,
they'd get into trouble. So yeah, they have to ask.
they could just say, hey, it was the only thing in the vending machine. It was either that or Twizzlers, and they didn't quite work.
No. Can you imagine throwing Twizzlers down to get E.T. to follow you home?
Well, there'd be sure
it would take forever.
They could form like an arrow or something like that.
No, the E.T. ate them, on the way. So
Oh, you're right.
That's how he got him to follow him home.
Okay.
So, Twizzlers, he'd be out there for hours.
The 3-hour E.T. movie, mainly eating during E.T. eating.
Take a little bit longer to eat than Reese's Pieces.
Okay, well, that was a good choice then. Yeah, if they went for like the Mars bar, there too.
Yeah.
Just gonna chew and chew and chew and chew,
Right,
and,
yeah.
and they need an intermission in the movie, I think.
That's right.
Okay, that is it for today.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you're enjoying these podcasts as usual. Let us know, crosswordpodcast@icloud.com.
Yes.
Or click on the send fan mail link. Saturday's crossword is going to be out soon. The hardest crossword of the week.
So they say.
So they say. We're going to tackle it. Hope you will too. And come back to hear us talk about it tomorrow.
Bye-bye.